At age 4, she was mumbling Chris Brown's "Look at Me Now" in her family's living room. Every syllable, every flow. At age 8, she was discovered performing at a random cafe. At 12, she signed to Sony Music Philippines. At 17, she became the youngest female artist nominated for a Hip Hop AWIT Award. But here's what nobody talks about. She spent her entire rise rejecting everything the industry told her to be. This is the story of a girl who decided to redefine Philippine hip-hop. One boundary, one bar, one collaboration at a time.
Go and make 'em bounce to the shit on repeat, make it sweet, make 'em bounce up and down, drop it.
Joining us on our show tonight is hip-hop artist Alex Bruce, who entered the music scene before when she was a teenager.
That's how most artists frame their beginning. Clean, simple, inevitable. But for Alex Bruce, entering the scene at 12 wasn't an anomaly. It was genetic. Her father fronted a rapcore group. Her mother breathed R&B. By the time Alex could form complete sentences, she was already studying rhythm, cadence, flow. Hip-hop wasn't a career she stumbled into. It was the language her family already spoke.
My parents, both of them. Because I was 4 years old and I was singing "Look at Me Now" by
Wow.
yeah, but I was mumbling everything, so I wasn't really rapping. But then when I was 6 years old, I discovered, Ate Ruby Ibarra.
Yeah.
She's great.
You got to work with her.
At 6, something clicked. She wasn't just mimicking anymore, she was creating. And by the time she was 10, she found her North Star, Ruby Ibarra, a Filipina rapper with mind-blowing multisyllabic rhymes who fused global influence with Filipino roots. Watching Ruby perform was the epiphany. Authenticity didn't mean choosing between worlds. It meant synthesizing them.
Inspiration ko po talaga are my parents since my dad was part of a band. Siya yun na guitarist ng banda. Tapos minsan he writes songs, poems, ganun.
But talent without opportunity is just potential. And Alex's first real break came from being in the right place, prepared for the right moment.
8 years old, I started performing na dun sa cafe ng tita ko. Ay, Kuya Mike Swift saw me there. And dun po nag-start yung mga gigs ko and everything. Tapos, kailan lang ako nagsimula magsulat ng kanta? 11 years old po ako kasi my dad told me na kailangan ko na mag-step up.
That cafe performance changed everything. Mix took notice. The gigs started flowing. And by 12, Alex was no longer a prodigy waiting to be discovered. She was a professional artist with a debut single that announced her thesis to the world. Mind is a weapon. Not her body, not her youth, not her marketability, her mind. That's the weapon. That's the power. And in 2019, at the Wish Music Awards performing Pull It Off, something shifted. She felt it for the first time on stage. The Kraken within. The beast mode that takes over once the music starts. The part of herself that refuses to shrink. But breaking through as a teenage girl in a male-dominated genre meant navigating contradictions most artists never face. In 2020, at age 13, Yakap went viral. Peaked at number 9 on Spotify Viral 50 Philippines. Trended number 1 on Twitter. Earned her the youngest ever AWIT nomination in the hip-hop category. But the real significance wasn't commercial, it was cultural. Because Yakap wasn't a tough battle rap anthem. It was vulnerable. It was about infatuation, puppy love, longing. It was soft in a genre that demands hardness. And it resonated because it was honest. Yet success came with pressure. The industry wanted to keep her small, cute, safe, marketable as the little girl rapping. She had to consciously move beyond that novelty and prove she was a serious artist, not a gimmick. And then there was the challenge of navigating fame while still figuring out who she was. Online school in Australia, performing in the Philippines, dealing with social anxiety. She used crystal healing to manage stress. She studied, wrote music, and balanced 2 worlds simultaneously. And through it all, she was learning the hardest lesson of the entertainment industry: how to protect herself from people who would exploit her youth and talent.
Siguro the biggest lesson I learned is to know my worth. Like yun yung lagi kong pinapaalala sa sarili ko every time like I'm feeling down.
In the industry, some people will take advantage of you, take advantage of your time, your effort, your skills, your everything. Pero if you know your worth, you set your standards.
Know your worth. Don't settle for less.
By 17, Alex had cracked the code, and she realized that the biggest threat to female artists wasn't just misogyny, it was manufactured competition. The industry loves pitting women against each other. One slot, one spot, one queen. Everyone else fights for scraps. Alex rejected that framework entirely. In 2024, she released A to Z, Drop It, with fellow femc Husay. It wasn't a competitive track. It was a collaboration, a statement. This wasn't just a song. It was a blueprint, a proof of concept. Multiple female rappers can thrive simultaneously. There doesn't have to be only one. And the lessons she learned from navigating an industry designed to exploit her became the foundation of her philosophy. What makes Alex Bruce dangerous isn't just her technical skill, though she has that in abundance. It's her intentionality. Every bar, every production choice, every persona serves a larger thesis. Her signature move? Multi-syllabic internal rhyme schemes delivered with surgical precision. Rapid-fire cadence with symmetrical structure. Listen to Mind as a Weapon. Gonna break the boundary? Look at me, spitting multi with symmetry, simply serving my mastery with sultry spices and energy. That's not accident. That's architecture. But what's more fascinating than her technical ability is her exploration of multiplicity. She doesn't present one version of herself. She presents many. Vulnerable Alex on Yakap, boundary-setting Alex on Pull It Off, confident, sexually empowered Alex on Betty Bruce, cautious, protective Alex on Ayokapa. Each track explores a different facet of identity, and she's not afraid to evolve past her old work.
I don't like writing songs about a guy or like ang tawag doon, inspired yung song about a guy. I don't like it kasi I did that before and I regret it. Kasi every time I hear the song, I feel so annoyed.
She collaborates frequently with producer Cursebox, whose stripped R and B influenced beats let her vocals sit prominently in the mix. The production never overwhelms, it supports. And unlike traditional hip-hop, Alex's lyrics reject materialism. She doesn't rap about designer brands or expensive cars. She raps about artistry, empowerment, authenticity, and the kraken within. The unleashed, destructive power she channels every time she performs.
Hindi pa talaga ako ready. Like, can you stop? Don't be annoying about it. Respect my opinion, respect my decision. No means no, and you can't change that. Yeah.
That's not just a lyric. That's a philosophical stance. Boundaries aren't suggestions, they're requirements. And stating them clearly, unapologetically, is an act of self-preservation. So what does all of this mean beyond Alex's individual career? It means that Alex Bruce represents a generational shift in Philippine hip-hop, a conscious pivot away from competitive posturing and misogyny towards something more sustainable. Artistry, female solidarity, and authenticity. She's not the only talented female rapper in the Philippines, but she's one of the first to actively construct a model where multiple women can succeed simultaneously without tearing each other down. Her collaboration with Zay wasn't charity, it was strategy. It was infrastructure. It was saying, the old rules don't apply anymore. We're building new ones. And the validation came from unexpected places. Bang Chan from Stray Kids jamming to Yakap on V-Live. Nike making her a brand ambassador and releasing Swoosh as an anthem for International Women's Month. Younger female rappers entering the scene citing her as inspiration.
I want my listeners, the people who listen to my music feel empowered na you don't have to listen to what other people say about you kasi sino ba sila para makapagsabi ng ganun.
That mission, empowerment, not just entertainment, shapes everything she does. Every collaboration, every boundary she sets, every bar she spits. And as she moves toward adulthood as an artist, the vision is clear. A full-length album, her first solo concert, studying music production so she has complete creative control. This isn't a flash-in-the-pan pop career. This is a marathon, And Alex is building not just a discography, but a template for the next generation of female artists who will enter an industry she's already reshaped. Alex Bruce's story isn't about perfection, it's about intention. She learned early that protection isn't paranoia, it's survival.
Don't shrink yourself for anyone else and protect your vision.
She learned that criticism can be weaponized as creative fuel, that boundaries aren't limitations, they're foundations, that collaboration beats competition every single time, and she learned that you don't have to accept a world that wasn't built for people like you. You can build a new one. The Kraken isn't just her stage presence, it's her refusal to accept mediocrity, exploitation, or diminishment. It's her decision to be loud, ambitious, and unapologetically herself. At 18, Alex Bruce has already redefined what's possible for young female artists in Philippine hip-hop. She's proven that empowerment and commercial success aren't mutually exclusive, that artistry and authenticity can coexist. And the message is clear. If you've got a Kraken inside, it's time to let it out. Because the future of hip-hop doesn't belong to the loudest voice or the toughest persona. It belongs to artists who refuse to shrink themselves for anyone.